The graduation address gives us the opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community. And we're very fortunate today that the address will be delivered by Mr. Dan Monheit. Mr. Monheit is co-founder and director of strategy at innovative creative agency Hardhat. Established in 2005, the agency has found a niche in developing campaigns that push boundaries through a combination of applied creativity and behavioural insight. This creative methodology extends to the physical work environment at Hardhat, complete with an indoor basketball court and office dogs. I don't think that's a mistake. With a string of local and international awards under its belt and a roster of clients such as Bupa, Tiger Air, Simply Energy and Vic Roads, it appears the agency has perfected the art of creativity. Within the industry, Mr. Monheit is recognised for his expertise into behavioural economics, a field of study exploring the why of decision-making. He has shared his knowledge with audiences at marketing conferences across the world, as well as presenting a podcast series that attracts thousands of listeners. And if you didn't think that was enough, just prior to this ceremony, Mr. Monheit was telling me that he's about to go over to New York to run in the marathon over there. So I now have much pleasure in inviting Mr. Dan Monheit to deliver today's graduation address.
Chancellor Mr. Simon McKeon, Vice Provost Faculty and Graduate Affairs Professor Matthew Gillespie, Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics Professor Richard Hall, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and especially our new graduates. I should let you know that I watched a lot of YouTube videos to work out exactly how this was meant to go, which, as it turns out, was a terrible idea. You see, watching Steve Jobs, Robert De Niro, Oprah Winfrey, and various US Navy SEAL commanders give these types of speeches just confirmed what I'd already suspected. This is some sort of a horrible mistake. Honestly, what on earth am I doing up here? And what could have possibly struck down the hundreds, if not thousands of people better suited to be up here giving this speech today than I am? You know, people who have made it as such. My tragedy to triumph story is severely lacking in the two categories of tragedy and triumph. I grew up battling mild colour blindness and a slightly higher than average chance of nosebleeds if I was bumped in the nose. I did manage to rise above these challenges and launch a business that, if nothing else, has managed to make payroll 174 months running. World domination and retirement to the Bahamas doesn't feel any closer than they did when I was sitting in your seat 16 years ago, wondering how much longer this old guy up the front was going to speak for. At 38, not quite old enough to be considered wise, definitely not young enough to be considered a prodigy. So what could I possibly have to offer a room full of talented, intelligent grads on one of the most significant days of their lives? You see, guys, I'm a fake. I'm a phony. I'm not meant to be up here. And it's only a matter of time before everybody finds out. Or so my brain tells me, often. It tells me when I'm pitching to win work for iconic brands and global businesses. It tells me when I'm addressing my team, all 40 of them, brighter, sharper, more talented than I'll ever be. It tells me when I'm interviewing candidates for jobs who have spent more time working at the best agencies in the world than I've spent alive. It tells me when I get up on a stage like this, in front of hundreds or thousands of people. Dan, you're a fake. You're a phony. You're not meant to be up here. And it's only a matter of time before everybody finds out. It's called imposter syndrome. It's characterized by the feeling that you've somehow tricked everybody into believing that you can actually do what's been asked of you, and that it's only a matter of time before they all find out your actual talent is being a giant fraud. Imposter syndrome is hugely prevalent in the creative industry that I'm lucky enough to work in. And like it or not, every one of you will be entering an industry that's being forced to be more creative today than it was yesterday, and more creative tomorrow than it is today. Imposter syndrome is waiting for each and every one of you. You're entering a world that's experienced more change in the last 2 decades than it experienced in the hundreds, if not thousands of years before that. Every field, every job, every aspect of society is being impacted. You've got long careers ahead of you. If you're lucky, you'll get to retire sometime while you're still in your early 90s, and maybe buy a cute little townhouse somewhere in inner Melbourne. So without a doubt, somewhere along the way, you'll find yourself doing a job that none of us have ever heard of, in an industry that doesn't even exist yet. Of course, you'll have no idea what you're doing. Nobody will. To me, encountering imposter syndrome seems unavoidable. And while I can't tell you how to kill it completely, I can tell you the 3 ways I've seen it put in its place. Perhaps it should come as no surprise that these 3 ways are also the core values of Hardhat, the creative agency I co-founded in 2005. Hustle, humility, and heart. Let's start with hustle, as one always should. I honestly believe that we become what we spend the most time doing. If we paint a lot, we become painters. If we run a lot, we become runners, or at least we try. If we whinge a lot, we become whingers. If we hustle a lot, we become hustlers. Hustle a lot. Become a hustler. Hustle is more important than talent. Hustle is more important than genius. Hustle is more important than education. Okay, it's equal with education. But you have to realize there are talented, intelligent, educated losers the world over. Hustle, doing whatever it takes to get the job done right, is all-conquering, especially today. Because today's world is an insider's game. Things change so quickly that you can only learn by doing, by getting stuck into things. You can stand around and ponder for as long as you like. You can scour the internet for whatever supporting or detracting information or opinions you think you need. You'll soon realize the world is full of neat-sounding advice and catchy Instagram quotes that completely contradict other pieces of neat-sounding advice and catchy Instagram quotes. For example, success is just getting back up one more time than you get knocked down. Also, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So which one is it? The only way to find out is just to stop looking for answers on the internet and start making answers for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is, you just need to start. Starting creates momentum, and momentum is the greatest force in business and in life. You guys are so young, you could easily spend the next decade of your lives just hustling, just trying things, following your passions, working different jobs in different cities, in different industries, looking for that sweet intersection of what you love and what you're great at and what pays the bills. You can get into your early 30s and have done nothing as far as classical career path goes, and it doesn't matter. If you have learned to hustle, you will be unstoppable. Imposter syndrome hates hustle. Number 2 is humility. Every one of us at some point has that Jon Snow moment. The moment where we realize in the scheme of things, we know nothing. And it's an important milestone because once we acknowledge and accept the vast oceans of unknown all around us, we can start letting the people who inhabit them enrich and inspire us. Because this realization at some point is inevitable, I encourage you to expedite it. Bring it on as quickly as you can. Plunge yourself deeply into things that make you feel stupid. Travel, explore, go places where nobody knows your name. Take any opportunity to hire, be hired by, or work alongside people who are not only smarter than you, but different types of smarter than you. More creative, more expressive, more analytical, more philosophical, better at building relationships, more efficient at organizing their day. Doing this will not only open your eyes to the world and the people around you, but will also help you see yourself in new contexts. Humility lets us learn by asking the stupid questions that everyone else is too scared or embarrassed to ask. Humility opens our minds to stripping us of our defenses and assumptions. Humility helps us realize what a beautiful reality it is that this puzzle called life has far too many pieces for any of us to put together alone, and that by default, we all need to supplement our own many shortcomings with the strengths and talents of others. Imposter syndrome hates humility. And heart, having an undeniable passion for what you do. One of the saddest realities of joining the adult workforce is that you realize how many people actually hate what they do day to day. How many people are effectively the working dead. This is just crazy. If we're lucky, we get about 30,000 days on this planet, and there's never been a better time to have them. The choices in front of you are unparalleled. There are thousands of conventional and unconventional ways to make a living. You can travel almost anywhere, learn almost anything, reach out to almost anyone. Something that you love is out there. And when you love what you do, when you have an undeniable passion for how you spend your days, you don't worry about things like segregating your existence into work and life. You don't do work-life balance because instead you get to enjoy work-life blend. Yes, if you are ambitious, which you all must be, whatever you choose will bring stress, anxiety, and work, as well as late nights. It seems that anything worth doing does. But it's 2019, so let's get a grip. Work might be hard because we choose to make it so, but nobody is dying of smallpox or the bubonic plague. Working with heart is something you can't fake, but you can find. And when you do, I promise it will give you boundless energy, unbridled optimism, and resilience like you never thought possible. Imposter syndrome really hates heart. Class of 2019. This is the greatest time in human history to be exactly where you are right now. Everything is new, everything is unwritten, everything is waiting to be discovered or rediscovered. So when you find yourself doing something that's never been done before, which you inevitably will, remember, there's no formula, there's no recipe, there's no blueprint. Of course you're guessing, but with the right amounts of hustle, humility, and heart, who better to guess than you? Thank you.